drops of bass.
Screwdriver. I'm actually just measuring stuff. I got that measurement. This is the height of this right here, the carburetor. It's right there. I just want to get the right height for the new manifold. Got some marks that I made some, you can't see that. Whatever. Anyways, so that I know that I'm in the right location. So that when I weld this bracket onto the new intake, it will be where it needs to be. So I am removing the carburetor, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the clamp for the fuel hose, and then we're going to take this off after we remove the nuts. Okay, so I'm about to remove the manifold, but then I realized I can't remove the manifold because I've got that heat riser right there. So it's going to get in the way, obviously. Can't take it off. So I have to take off the alternator and all that shit, and I didn't want to do that. Damn it. Because it's not easy to put it back. Especially because of this. Yeah, it's just, everything's in the way. All that shit is just in the way. Nothing like having it like that, man. Like easy peasy to work on that one. When the deck lid is in the way, it's just like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? All right, stop being lazy, and I'm gonna take this off. Oh, got a mess. Got a mess. It's like 105 outside. I got my AC running, so we ain't going outside. We're doing everything inside the garage. Yeah, get an AC split, mini split. It's worth it. Okay, I'm gonna try to take this off. I have a feeling I'm gonna hit this and make a mess, and I don't want to do that. But all the wires are out, no wires here, nothing. Go with it. Okay, it ain't coming off. Because I'm an idiot. I forgot, this is not my bug, the green bug. It's not that guy. I still have to take off the cover from here. Like an idiot. Yep. You didn't see that. There we go. Yeah, I forgot about this. Slight miscalculation there. Now I have to take the one that's on the bottom, the one that directs the air downwards and underneath the engine. Okay, got to take that one off before I can take the doghouse off. That is a beautiful musical. It's Paul Hardcastle. It's a rainforest. Love it. Oh man, every time I hear it, it just brings chills to me. Makes me feel good. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, I need an Allen wrench to get that standard bolt that could have been a bolt, but no, it's an Allen head. I'll take it off so I could take the doghouse off. Okay, I got the bolt off. Allen bolt, whatever. Okay. The sadness is that I see a lot of Beetles, without this. Okay, without this, you're just recycling the hot air under here, under the bonnet, the deck lid. You just recycle the hot air. You need this. That's for doghouse, the ones with doghouse. The other ones, it actually blows it down, and that's the end of that. Because the oil cooler is inside the doghouse, and this one's on the side of the doghouse. So, the oil cooler. Okay. If you have the ability to run this. Don't kill your motor. Makes me want to cry. Second try. I knew this was going to be fucked up bad. I just knew it. As I try to take out, it's going to get stuck right here. I might have to remove the whole deck lid. Motherfucker. Let me can't do it. You gotta remove the deck lid. That ain't no fun. Because this thing is heavy like a motherfucker. It's not like the one I have. It's super light, made out of tin. This one's made out of real steel. German steel. Weighs a ton. Oh, now I have to take this off. Oh my God, this is getting more complicated. It would probably have been easier just to take the motor down. You know what? I'm just gonna take this off like this. And I think I can lift it up and lift the heat riser through the alternator without having to remove this, because I don't want to remove the deck lid. Oh, as far as the Slingshot's manifolds, this is how they look. Okay, right here. Just remove this wall, make it nice and smooth. You match port your heads to this, and these heads are D-ported. In other words, the line right here is actually very thin, but it's still there. It's like an eighth of an inch thick. It's still flat. In other words, I could still run one of these with the line that's still going through here, and the gasket should still be able to seal perfectly, okay? But it's thin enough that it doesn't cause any disturbance. That's what I did. At least that's my theories, okay? But basically, this is a Slingshot manifold. Okay, you can tell how deep that is. That is about, let me measure that actually. Okay, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, but basically this is 1 inch deep from the surface. Okay, 1 inch deep. I think the minimum you can have those is about 3/4 of an inch, but I went an inch, so that's how I did it. Be very careful because these edges right here, this edge right here, very easy to make a hole on this side. And then you're gonna have to weld it. That's fun. That's always fun. Yeah. I actually did that to this side. See those pins right there? Little pinholes? Okay, that's aluminum that I had to re-weld. Oops! Say, oops! Shit happens. So I learned from that mistake. On the other one, I didn't, I was very careful with this edge. Not to get too close to this edge right here. Make a hole. Okay, as far as this side, I didn't do anything to this side. It's bone stock. It's the way it comes from the factory. You can buy these already ported, like they're thicker, and the runners are just much bigger. They can flow a lot of air, but those are like $400. Seriously, $400. I was like, I'll just take mine and do this, and they do the exact same thing. Slingshots. This is not my idea, actually. Okay, I'm just gonna go out and say it. It's not my idea. This is Mr. Edelbrock. Okay, the original guy that invented the Slingshot for the V8. Okay, this is exactly what he did, except on a V8, he did that. Okay, all right, just so you know. Anyway, that's why they're called Slingshots. All right, we're gonna go ahead and see if I can lift that guy, this guy, and pull this out. I think I'm gonna need 2 hands. I'll be back. I gotta get more hands. Oh, it's out. Ha! Motherfucker. So the degree of difficulty just got more difficult. I had to port this, so this guy would go inside here. Okay. So you're gonna have to do that if you want to use a 1.5 inch pipe. The inner diameter is like 35.7 right here. Okay. The stock one, that guy, is 32 on the inside, exactly 32 on the inside. So this is almost 36. So anyways, there you go. She goes in. Okay, I just want it to go in at least 1/8 of an inch so that it has some support, a little bit of support, and also it's able to expand in and out, through the cooling and heating cycles. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, so this one's done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side because obviously we have to do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, so this is the passenger side. See, slingshot, porting. Okay. Anyways, I'm done with this side. Well, I'm actually gonna polish it just a little bit more because it's kind of rough. But it slides on. Okay. A lot. Okay, that's right on the edge. It goes in about over 1/4 of an inch, about 3/4 of an inch, 3/8. There we go. So this is all I need. I just need to get my lengths right here, the edges, because I know I made it too long, purposely. So then I can trim it, you know, until it's perfectly centered between this guy and the other one on the other side. So, but I want it to be floating. You know, floating in there. I don't want it to be tight or stop, you know, tight in there and then the other one tight also. I want it to be somewhere in the middle. Yeah. All right. This is getting a little bit more complicated. So it's probably best that you guys have the motor out because it's a mother effort to get those nuts off the manifolds in there on both sides. There's always one of them that's, you know, has that bend. And then it's really difficult to get a socket in there, which I didn't. I actually got a wrench. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back and start messing around with the length on the runner. All right, so we've got this one done. Slingshot end cast going back on. That's what we did. We just opened it up a little bit so that tube runner would go in there, that intake manifold. I'm gonna put this back. Like, yay! I'm gonna put the bolts on, and we're gonna start measuring the lengths and cutting and making sure that everything's perfectly centered. Okay, so I already got the nuts on this. It's just snug. I just want it to be stable, and I can see that. Look, I got plenty of adjustability. See? Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mock everything up right here. See if I got the snout correct. If I don't, I'm gonna have to cut it again. I am about an inch too high. I need to drop it actually an inch. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I gotta trim this guy 1 inch, which already kind of marked it right there. I'm gonna try to weld this guy up. I already marked it relevant to the marks that I have here. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it on, align it to those marks right here, and that should take care of that. Now, how am I gonna center it? It's really easy. You know, one size down on tubing. You know, just throw it in. Simple as that. And that'll make sure it's perfectly centered. And align your marks. You're good. All right, so I just mocked it up. Got everything's perfect. I'm able to cycle my throttle all the way open without it hitting over here on the alternator. So everything's good. So everything's tack welded right there. So I'm gonna have the flange and the pipe right here welded, these two. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna get the professional out. He'll have it done and he'll be able to put everything back together. I am not installing the heat risers. This Sidewinder doesn't have the heat risers. I mean, I can buy the kit. They sell them, and I can weld them on and, you know, have the heat risers. But this is Bakersfield. It's 105 outside. Trust me, you don't need them here. Even in the winter. Winters are very mild. You don't need them. But if you guys are in like Maine, you know, Montana, you know, those areas where it's really cold winters, you definitely need to actually install or make your heat risers. You're gonna have fun there. I know you are. So, or you could do the easy way out is just buy a CB Performance. But I think that CB Performance is gonna limit me to a lower flow number. So this is why I'm building mine, because I want those runners to be big enough to flow the air. All right, I'll let him do that, and we'll come back. We still need to make the bracket on the bottom to bolt it to the block, but figured I'd do that first, and then I'll deal with the bracket later. I just cut my bracket cutout. So I'm going to trace it onto this thick metal. I think this is 1/8. I think it's 1/8 inch thick. That should be enough. Yeah, trace it on, cut it. But first, I'm going to drill it out before I cut it out. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to hold it. So I'm going to drill that first and then cut the trace out of the metal. All right, so I just made my bracket. As you can see, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna weld that to that. We're gonna tack weld it, and then my son will burn it in. But first, like I said, I need to make sure that all of this is perfectly spaced from back here. Because right now it's too far this way. I need to push it back to the wall. Okay. All right, just like stock. So I'm gonna put more shims right here. So I pull it over there. Then we'll do a very quick tack weld, and then we'll burn in it, and that should take care of that. I don't think there's any room. I have to remove the distributor. Yes! Success! I just needed one tack weld, that's all I need. Okay, so check it out. This is the way it looks. Bracket. I still need to burn it in. I'm waiting for my son. But I'm gonna paint it black. It's got the black thing going anyway. But yeah, check out my bracket. Ain't that cool? That is so cool. Alright. Just thought I'd show it off. It's done. I finished. Got the bracket on it so it bolts up to the block. Everything's bolted, everything's welded. Now we can tighten this guy up, which you cannot see no more. Trust me. I'm tightening it. I'm gonna snug it only. I'm not gonna tighten it. So what I'm gonna do right now is actually tighten the nuts on the manifold right now. It's in. That side is fully in, so I just have to tighten the hose clamps, and that's it. And hose clamps, and we're done. And then we'll tighten that, but I'm not gonna tighten it yet. I gotta put the carburetor back on because, see, I purposely made it so that it has moving, ability, so that I can set it up correctly. All right. Okay, we're done with that. You don't want to see me put bolts on. It's too boring. But basically, this thing is on. Okay, we got the black theme going, so we've got that painted black. She looks really nice. So it's time to put it all back together. Like I said on my previous videos, let me just make a suggestion. If you're not watching the previous video, you're kind of sort of going to be lost. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, anyways, we need to increase the fuel amount that this thing can deliver to your bowl. Okay, because that thing is going to run out of fuel. Even on 1835, it will run out of fuel. Okay, that thing is way. Look at that little squirter thingy. I mean, you ain't gonna flow much fuel out of there. So what we're gonna do is actually, because the needle does go all the way down and far away from the top, we're actually just gonna drill it with a 180, and then we're gonna deburr the inside with a little, like a little screwdriver kind of thing with a little hook, and we're just gonna go around it like that on the inside, and it should deburr that hole on the inside, and this thing should not get stuck. So this is like, oh god, like I'm gonna say about a 120. That's not enough. You need like about at least a 180 for a 2234. You might want to go like maybe stay under 200, but you know, maybe a 190 for 2274 cc. I'm not sure if it's 75 or 74 or whatever. Who cares? It's close enough. But yeah, we need to modify this. Or you could get these at your local speed shop. A lot of them carry this stuff, you know, special sizes. So you might be able to find that. You won't have to do this. But this is what I do. And I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be my fourth one that I've done. And they all work perfectly. They never failed. So I'm going to do that to this. The drill I'm going to use to drill, I'm actually going to go a little bit bigger. If it lets me. Okay, 194, 195, whatever. We'll call it a 195 just so we don't get confused. Well, there you go, 195. Drill that we're going to be using to drill this guy right here. Okay? Like I said, make sure your little thing is all the way out. Yeah, out. So that you're far away from the drill point. It'll kind of just self-straighten out. If you want to do this on a bench, go ahead. But I like doing it this way because this way I know when I'm getting close to going to the other side and I don't want to go any deeper and damage this valve. Oops. This valve. So I'll just hold it with my fingers. Okay, she's done. She's all the way down. Like I know it's all the way down because I can go gently all the way down and see it will not go down. So, but I never touch the rubber part of that valve. Okay, very important. If you nick it, this is junk. Okay, this will be junk. And basically, look at that hole now. That thing will be able to feed your monster engine round. Okay, I wouldn't go beyond 2 unless you're doing like a maybe like a 22, 74, 75, whatever the hell that is. Then maybe a 200 would work best, but don't be afraid. You can do this. Now I'm just going to look for a wire so I can ream it. And usually what I use is just like the springs, you know. Where is that spring? Okay, so what I use is kind of like these, you know, springy wires. These carbon steel ones, they're pretty damn good. So you just bend an edge, use your, you know, your wire cutters or your tin snips and think, you know. So now you have a very small edge that you can deburr this thing inside. Just feed it through and make sure that this thing is far away from there. And just spin it really hard in there. Like that. A couple of turns, that's all you need. And you're done. And then test it. See if you can get it to seal, you know, manually. You know, push it up with little pressure. As soon as it closes, you shouldn't be able to blow any air through there. If you do, you got a bad one. So just go get a new one. Go get a new one. Just get a new one. All right. If it works for you, it works for you. If it didn't, you know, just shit happens. You can go one size up, you know, like a 200, and then try it again, see if it works for you. All right, I'm going to put this back in there. Well, after I test it, I have to test it. Everything's okay, and I'm going to put it back, and then we'll move on to the next step. So she's holding pressure. I already tested it with the air gun and everything, and it's holding. She's holding pressure. She's totally holding pressure. So we're just going to go ahead and reinstall this, and we should be fine. Yeah, make sure you test it, okay? Don't get too cocky. Because this is a potential fire hazard, okay? Do this at your own risk. I suggest you buy a new one. Okay, but whatever. If it works for you, it works for you. I've done it. This is like my 4th or 5th one. They always work. So just remember, deburr, and you should be fine. And now I am actually going to remove that jet and actually drill it out to the size for the 2234, which is what size? Okay, so I'm supposed to turn that into a 180. A 180 for a 2234. So a lot of you who are like wondering for your size engine, maybe you have a 2180 cc, you know, something like that. You're wondering what jet sizes. What I would do is I would compare the stock sizes for the 1600 and then the 2234, which is, this is a 2234. And do a guesstimation on the engine size versus the jet size, my jet sizes, and that'll get you very close. Okay, like, yeah, that's what I would do. So this one's out. I'm gonna go ahead and drill it. This comes with a 137 on that sucker. So we're gonna drill it up to 180. I have multiple. I have it says here, this is one of the first ones that I did, a 177. And then I have 3 post-its that have the main at 180. This one's also main 180. Okay. And main 180. 180. So I have three 180s, and this is probably the first one that I ever did. So we're gonna go with 180. So I'm gonna replace this and drill it out. All right, so I've been drilling this for a while. Still going through. Okay, there we go. It is nice and tight. This is a 180. I'm gonna go ahead and install it back in there, and that'll be done. That's pretty much it for that. Now we have to deal with the air corrector, which is that guy right there, and the idle. That's it. Oh, then we have to, I almost forgot, we have to deal with these these thin brass tubes right here. We have to open them up. Yes, we do. That's for the transitional from idle to main. Instead of having a fuel curve that looks kind of like the idle goes in like this, right? Like this. Then it starts running out of fuel. Kind of like that. Okay. Then the main, actually the main starts working like way somewhere around here. Like that. And it goes like this. Okay. This area right here, that is that guy right there. Transitional jets. These. This is the middle ones, okay? These hit right in the middle of the idle and the main. Okay? These are the twin jets, okay? Okay, that's pretty much it. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, we're back to the bow car, actually, because I wanted to show you a neat trick. So this bow car uses a tiny little jet versus this monster, okay? So the way when I'm changing jets, because it's, oh, it made it too big, so I get a smaller one or a bigger one or whatever, I don't take the carburetor off, okay? I might remove this guy because it's in the way when it's in the car, and I just use a toothpick. Just put it in there, spin it. You spin it and spin it and spin it. And believe it or not, it'll go in. Like that. Then I just use a screwdriver. This is while it's in the car. Okay. Okay. That's done. And I just plug it up, and that's it. Okay, just thought I'd show you that tactic. Same thing goes for like, okay, on the idles on this car, they're this easy. That's the idle. You just drill out that end point right there, and you're done. But on these bow car, there's a plug, and then there's a tiny little microjet in there that you're gonna have to loosen with this. And what I do when I loosened it, I just go in with the toothpick and then just press it in, and then just keep turning it, and it'll come right out. Same thing when you reinstall. Same thing. Tech tip for you guys, so you guys don't get like, what the fuck? Okay, so you don't have to remove this, okay? It gets a pain in the ass to remove. Okay, for the idle, I'm going with this one. Close enough to government work. 69 millimeters. That's this drill right there. Oh my god, can you even see that? Yes, you can. Okay, whatever. If you can, just imagine it. Okay, we're gonna go with that jet and drill to drill this guy. I have several. The one that came on this carburetor did not have any stampings on it, so I don't know what size it is, but it's very, very tiny. It looks like it's like a 50, maybe a 55. So we're gonna go 70 on this sucker. Well, this sucker, because this is the one that came with that sealer thing. That's not a good sign. You shouldn't have to use sealer on this. Not a good sign, but whatever. It might work. I'm going to go ahead and drill it, and that'll be for the 2234. Okay, 70. So if you guys are making notes, make notes of what the sizes are. I'll post them down there, the jet sizes that I use for this carburetor, so that way you can reference that and mirror it to whatever size engine you have using the 1600 stock jets, and then versus the sizes for this 2234 jet sizes. So you can more or less figure out what sizes you're going to need for your engine size. You don't have to bother anybody. All right. Just get a Y band. That'll tell you if you're right on or if you're way off. So I ended up just using the drill press. It's just much cleaner. Right. It took me, less than a minute. The other way, if you do it by hand, you're going to oval it out and you're going to make it bigger than it needs to be. So, yeah. So this way you don't chase problems. Just put it in your drill press and do that. And yeah. Moving on. I'm going to go ahead and install this. She's going in. Okay, she's done. Let's go ahead and drill these guys. Those are always fun. Okay, so we just ran into a snack fu here. You see those little holes right there? There and there on those twin jets? Okay, I haven't even touched it. These things are 105 millimeters. Oh, 1.05 millimeters, okay. These, on this stock carburetor, Bocar, they're drilled to 40, and 40, okay, both of them. These are pre-drilled to 100. Okay, you see, there's a huge difference. So the whole thing is this. I have on my notes over here that these guys are drilled to, one of them is 80 and the other one's 90. Okay, 80 and 90. Okay, so these things are at 105. Uh-oh. So I might be running kind of fat on my transitional area right there. It kind of fuel fell on there, that's why. Anyways, this area might be running a little fat. We'll see how it goes. I was expecting these to be stock, these to be stock, and they're not. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave them the way they are and see what happens. And if I have to solder them shut, I'll solder them shut, and then I'll drill right next to it. Right next to it, right next to the side, and I'll drill them to 80 and 90. Okay, and millimeters. All right. So I'm not going to touch those because they're already kind of on the large size. So now, last part, this is a 70. It should be a 65. Otherwise, you're going to have a really bad hesitation. Really bad hesitation with the 70. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe solder it shut and then re-drill it to 65. All right, so I went ahead and removed them and compared them. And look at this Bocar has a bigger hole right there, which means less fuel. And this one has a smaller hole right there. It's still bigger than the rest. Those are the same size. That one over here is bigger. This one over here is bigger but smaller than that one. And then the top ones look like they're about the same. So anyways, I got a 65 drill in there. It's nice and tight. So it is a 65 for the Bocar. That would be this guy. And this one's a 70. And in my experience, every time I tried a 70, it bucked like a bucking bronco. It didn't like it. So, but the thing is that, check it out. These smaller holes actually mean more fuel. So the 70 might actually run correctly. Or should I just go with that one over here? Bocar over here. Don't know. Dilemmas. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the Bocar over here. And then the new one, I'll just store it over here. If I need it, and if I see that I have a bucking bronco situation, I'll go ahead and remove that one from the old carburetor and transfer it over to here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Dilemmas. You're gonna hit a lot of those on your travels. That's it. Okay, she's in. She's done. Now we can just put the top back on, and we are done jetting this carburetor. I'm gonna button it up and put it back on the car, and we'll start it up. See what it does. So I'm trying to break the welds. Well, actually, I already broke some of them. I just need to break that, and this thing will come off. This is what I had done to this thing. I previously just cut it, okay, all the way around. I removed about 1/4 of an inch right here to push everything higher, because what's happening, because this is a 2234, there's a lot of air being sucked up in basically the oil that's in there was getting ingested by the engine, you know, and a huge cloud of smoke in the back, you know, on the tailpipe. And basically, so we had to fix that. Anyway, so that's what I did. But now this engine's gonna really suck. Yeah, it's gonna suck. So I really have to just remove this. I don't need this anymore. I'm just gonna cut the welds, and that'll be into that. Oh, that's too short. The ghetto. I can relate to that. I grew up in the ghetto. Believe it or not. Everything that comes with the ghetto. Drugs, prostitutes, drive-bys. I mean, I'm only here because the bullet didn't go through the wall. I mean, it hit 4x4 on the framing of the house. I just heard, you know, I just heard the yell, the gang slogan, which I'm not gonna repeat. I know what it was, and then the whole neighborhood got shut up. Just. Then I hear something in the back of my head go, bah! Go, what the fuck? And I went outside and I saw that the bullet hit the 4x4 where my head was. So, yeah. So I can relate to that song because, yeah. This guy usually, well, he started really nasty singing, you know, but now he just mellowed out, and that's too short. Gotta hear cuss words. Damn! That is like damn, double dams. I'm trying to get in. There we go. We don't need this no more. Ugh. Come on. Okay. Oh, it's still. Okay. I see. It's still welded over here. I thought I broke this one. Guess I didn't. There we go. So this is the horsehair that everybody calls horsehair. So the whole air goes through this shit. So this is going to be very restrictive. So I'm going to remove that. Probably not going to reinstall this. So this is going to be, I don't know where I'm going to do with it. I'm probably just going to leave it somewhere and forget about it, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to use it. Okay, there you go. You ever wonder what's in here? Yeah. You ever wondered what it was? That's what was in there. So now I got plenty of air, you know, to go in there. And basically, this is just gonna go. I want to clean this. I'm not gonna put it in because I don't want to pour the crap in there. But basically, it goes in there and then it gets clamped in, and that's it. So, adios, senor. Yeah, that's something you didn't know about me. I grew up in the ghetto. This is why I like this kind of music, because I grew up around it. This is why I'm not really into like rock and stuff like that. Although I do like it though. I do like it. I mean, I used to have a pack of CDs that thick. That thick! Well, you know the little books that you put the CDs in? Okay, that thick. I had everything. Everything. Everything from Kiss to Motley Crue to you name it, I had it. But I'm more attracted to this kind of music. It's just the way it is. Especially bass. Specifically speaking, like 40 hertz, somewhere around there. Somehow that 40 hertz bass makes my creativity just flow. I don't understand how that works. I'm not an expert on stuff like that, frequencies and stuff, but that mellows out my brain. And my body feels really good. The vibrations. No, it's not like being drunk. Moving on. Okay, I'm gonna clean that and then I'm gonna put it together, and my engine is all together right now. Oh, she's too dark. Oh, much better. Okay, everything's together. Everything's been plugged in that needs to be plugged in. I just need to purge it, you know, so I get some fuel going through. So we got the fuel thing filled up, the fuel bowl. So it's going to be a lot of cranking, waiting for it to go. I don't know what it's going to do, but it's going to do something. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that shit and put the air filter back on. Oh man, I think we're having a windstorm. Anyways, we just want to see if it starts. Go ahead and crank it. I need to adjust. Okay, she's running. We got it. I have to adjust everything here, but it's very, very smooth. So we'll tune tomorrow. I can't do anything right now other than just we got it started. All right. We cool? Yeah. We cool. Okay, so we are done. Like I said, we are not gonna run heat risers because well, I live in Bakersfield. It's still like almost 100 outside right now. Luckily, I'm inside my garage. I got AC. She's done. I mean, she looks beautiful. This is the way it turned out. I'll give you a close-up of everything. You know. Okay, this is the original oil bath. It should still work pretty good. Air is going to go in here, and the air has to go down wickedly, and there's oil on the bottom. Therefore, any dirt will get flung out into the oil. You should be fine. It's kind of like so. Okay. You know. Alright. She's done. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today. That's as far as I got. I still have to tune it. This thing needs to be tuned. You can't just go and do a pull. No, not yet. I need to see what the computer's doing, the CB Performance computer's doing on the vacuum scale. I need to see what's happening there, and I need to verify that that the jets are actually flowing pretty good. But that is it. I mean, I will do some tuning next week, and for right now, the car should be drivable, but I wouldn't, do any pulls on it. Tune it first, and then we will give it the frijoles, like extra burnt frijoles. We'll see how that goes. All right. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachas. Check this out. So I grabbed that carburetor, the Bocar, original, and I grabbed this Chinese aftermarket, and watch. This thing weighs, the original weighs, the glare, 1.9 kilos. 1.9 kilos. We'll just call that 1.2 kilos. Holy shit. That aluminum is way stronger than this aluminum. So I wonder what the life of the throttle is going to be. Because if this aluminum is this weak, this throttle shaft is going to, wear out real quick. It's just some thoughts right there. Okay, whatever. I still have that carburetor, so I could just swap it out, right?